Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality or Realness with Drew from Angelcake Entertainment Channel here to talk about the third part of the final episode of the Challenge Season 38 Ride or Dies. Drew, how are you doing? We have been spending these last 5.5 months together, and it's finally come to an end. We have new challenge champions. What are your immediate thoughts?
My first immediate thought is when you said 5.5 months, like puts into in perspective of how long we've been going on this journey. But
Or maybe it's 4.5, but it's long.
it's still a long time. Still a long time. I think I'm happy to have seen this through. I'm happy that the season has finally wrapped up. Albeit it has dragged on a few times during this point, from main season to having a 3-episode final. But I'm happy it's wrapped up. I am content with who won, especially with how they played in the finals. I thought that they were most deserving of everybody who was left in the game up to that point. But I'm just happy that we saw this
It's
through
over.
and that we finally hit a cap on it, in my opinion. But we still have the reunion to go, so it's still not over. It's still not
That's
over.
why I think I was including the next 2 episodes in this 5.5 months. So it's not completely over, but the actual footage of the season is done. I have to say, though, the reunion looks like it might be a little bit spicy because it looks like Miss Nerys is not holding back. I'm happy that we have some people that have a little bit of bite and they're not going to be too edited in the reunion. So hopefully that will be some fun content to watch, and we're gonna have to figure out something about the reunion. Maybe what we'll do is we'll take all the different tiers that we had this season and we'll put all the cast in like certain placements throughout the season or something like that. So we'll workshop it, but maybe we can figure out how to deal with the reunion and a final conclusive button of our power rankings for 38. Well, for me, I'm definitely agree with you. I'm happy that the season has finished, that we made it to the end. We have some deserving winners, and people are getting on me. They're like, oh, nobody can make you happy. But I really felt that they could have had a really amazing final. And I think that they really dropped the ball like Nani did in Balls In. They did. They dropped the ball.
They dropped it twice. Back
Dropped
to
it
back.
twice, back to back, when they had a perfect layup before we're out to get the shot in. No one was obstructing her.
That was so bad. And I just feel like, I don't know. I actually thought about, because in today's Tiny Table Talk, I bring up Nani and just being like, what else could she do? Like, this was the season. This is her season. She had the best social game. She won the most eliminations, I think, in a single season that she's ever done in her whole career. And she was partnered up with somebody that she had been partnered up with for and somebody who's a proven winner, who I mean, one person shy. I mean, I think I've figured out like a thing with Nani that I've just been thinking about for the last day or so. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't think she's ever going to get it. And I think those 2 Balls In drops, it plays a factor into it. But yeah.
And well, I mean, she talks a lot, and so does Bananas throughout the season and a bit throughout this final about getting in her own way and getting in her head and not believing that she can do it. And all these negative thoughts are self-fulfilling. That's just how I feel like our mind and what we focus on, how it kind of expresses itself in the real world. And so if she doesn't think she can do it, do you know what? The universe is going to give her exactly what she thinks and believes, and that's that she can't do it and she's not going to accomplish it. So I would say, Nani, if you want to win a final, have a hypno session with me, and we're going to get over your limiting beliefs that's preventing you from having success, because I really think that she could have won this final. I personally don't think this final was that hard. I know that some people are like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it. I'm like, I think I could do actually every part of this final. The running, yeah, it was long, but it didn't matter. You just had to complete it. And then you got to rest for 8 hours sleep in a tent. And then you had to do something else, maybe taxing, but What did it give you? 5-minute head start? Who cares? Like it actually didn't matter being fast at anything. So I could get through this
Mhm.
final. What are your thoughts about this final? Brief,
I
I
think
guess.
this final was hard in the sense that it was uncomfortable. Like having to do all these tasks back to back to back, having to be out there for 8 to possibly 10 to 12 hours a day doing various tasks, running, and then sleeping in a tent is uncomfortable, and it takes endurance to do that. But overall it wasn't, I would say, as physically difficult or as difficult in a sense of like War of the Worlds Part 1, where
Oh
everybody
my
was
god.
talking about in my comment section that that one is the hardest, they think. And that one had a ton of running in it, but it also was very thrilling and entertaining to watch. And they
It
didn't
didn't
have to
stop.
posterize it. Yeah, and you didn't have to posterize it as saying this is 100 hours, this is grueling, this is the hardest and longest. Like they didn't need all of that gimmick. They just were like, this is going to be difficult. And then we saw how difficult it was. I mean, I don't want to see people almost like passing out from heat exhaustion every
No.
single final, but I also want it just to be a succinct, joint together final that was thought up through the whole thing from beginning to end. I want there to be like motive and thoughtfulness through the whole final, where I feel like the production team really thought that that corn maze was incredible and that should be the final, but then they were like, that
Okay.
can't just be the only final, we have to put more stuff in it. And so then they just made everybody do busy work for the first couple of days leading up to the corn maze, and they're like, okay, this is the final day, this is going to be fun. It's like, it could have all been fun, you know?
It it could have all been fun. They could have had everything that they had in this final and made it better.
Hmm.
Um, I think what I was missing for the most part is the sense of accomplishment people feel when they cross the finish line. I feel like that part of that to me is what makes the final. And it reminds me of, season 1 of All Stars, where everybody that was running in the end crossed that finish line and like having that sense of accomplishment of like completing all stages of it, of the
Hmm.
game, of the final, crossing the finish line. You didn't win, yeah, but you crossed it. So having them pull down a lever at the end, like anticlimactic after they're just like, you can't really see what they're doing, busting through a wall. Like, it's just not compelling for television. They have 38 seasons and like 550 episodes to practice how to make compelling television. And so the fact that they had the corn maze, which I think could have been really, really interesting. Like you were super excited about what they were going to do with that. And I felt that it was just basically running with GoPros and like, that's not interesting. Michelle was suggesting that if they had some of these tasks within the corn maze and like maybe make the corn maze
Hmm.
even bigger. And so they had tasks and they don't know which way is out, but they have to complete these checkpoints in this maze. And then finally, maybe somebody comes out on the end and you hear the horn blow and you're like, oh man, we lost. Like that might have been more compelling. But seeing, making them do a 200-piece cinder block puzzle that's taxing, and then knowing that they made a mistake, bananas and Nani twice, the second time being like, there's no way that we can catch up, because I heard that it was like a 5-hour task was doing that final task. So
Yeah.
I think that they messed up with it being entertaining. It was fine. I enjoy watching people do things, but I wasn't on the edge of my seat. I didn't care necessarily who was going to win because there was no tension whatsoever.
I also had that thought of that Michelle had, which was if they just had a giant maze and then they accidentally take a wrong turn and then they have to drink fish guts or have to like land two bolas or something or do a different tanagram or something. I think that would be really, really interesting and something that we've never really seen before. And it's so like, I don't know. I think it's compelling. It wouldn't take more than a day to do that, but I think it would be a lot more fun to just see how they would be able to do it. Now, I do appreciate they tried to do something different in the way that it didn't come down to just a foot race, because I think if it did come down to a foot race, Tori and Devin would win pretty easily. They've been winning every single stage, and then if they would have gotten even a 10-second head start, 30-second head start, which all the finals leading up to this one has always been, hey, you won the day before. Well, guess what? You get a 30-second head start up a mountain and that leads to a pretty easy win anyways. So I understand where they were coming from, where, okay, we're going to make it just two teams doing various tasks, and realistically these tasks aren't super difficult to where either team could have the possibility to win. So I understand where they were coming from it from that aspect, and I liked it. It just that cinder block puzzle just completely took Bananas and Nani out. They just did not have the mental fortitude. They didn't have the focus. They would rather yell at each other than actually take the time to make sure that this thing will be done properly, because we got two rooms in and they were just like, we're done. Who cares? So it kind of fell flat on that sense, in that they didn't even have Bananas and Nani like really putting in the biggest effort to try to even just stay competitive and make it realistically a race. In that, I don't even know what that final room would have looked like if both teams were in the room. I mean, it was just dusty, and I don't know what would have happened. Would a cameraman followed him in? Like, I don't know. That was weird, but it
I
doesn't
have
matter.
no idea, because we're not gonna see it. How did you feel about there being an elimination with so few teams? Like, if they want to have all these eliminations, why couldn't they have had like 8 teams in the final, and like there's different purges / checkpoints that like you have these bouts? Like, I really did not think that it was that interesting to have 2 teams that are like crashing through walls that we can't really see.
Mhm. I mean, I'll be an advocate of 100 hours gives you enough time to have eliminations at like every single point, to where they could have had 5 to possibly 6 teams in the game and make it to the final, and then just have that be fun to do a whole bunch of different tasks, then have a draw at the end with the bottom 3 teams after every single day, and then at the end have a final race like they did, to have the final two losing teams go directly into the elimination. I think that's a lot more fun and a lot more interesting at the end of it, because then that kind of joins together the other days.
Yeah.
Whereas this one didn't really have much to do with that. And
Yeah, you didn't
unfortunately
need
for
to do the
Olivia and
other 2
Horacio,
days.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
the first 2 days meant nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, to me, with 100 hours, with so much content that you have to fill, why not just add in a fifth, a sixth team, to where you could have that fun at the end? Like, you need to win this day to just be safe and make it into the top part to be safe, and then to stay out of the draw. Like, I think that
Absolutely.
would have been a lot more exciting.
It
But
would have been so exciting, because then like you would see people actually caring. Like, I know that Devin and Tori were ahead for most of like the day 1 and day 2. Um but like, who know, like maybe Bananas knew that it wasn't really going to matter, right? Like, maybe he knew that, like, or they knew that that was going to just come down to the day 3 thing. Because if on day 1 like it didn't really matter, it just was to go to sleep, and like, you know what I mean, like none of it really seemed to matter. So maybe they weren't putting in all of their energy, because they knew, like, okay, a 5-minute head start or 5 extra chalk bombs, like, who cares? Who cares?
yeah, that was
Chalk
rough.
bombs? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? So yeah, I mean, I think that they might have been able to tell that it wasn't going to matter how fast that they were going to run, because it was all going to come down to the final day. But who knows? Who knows what they were thinking or what they were doing? We have some friends here. We have Addie's Brain. We got Lauren. Yay. Yeah, we came on a little bit earlier. I got tickets to see a comedy show. So I asked you if you can come on a little bit earlier, and he said yes. Willie loves seeing Olivia and Horacio at the end. Olivia looks so amazing. Well, even though she had a broken nose. What do you think, Drew, about them giving 38,000 to second, third, and fourth place?
I mean, it was nice. I'm glad that everybody gets to leave with something, but this, I talk about it in Tiny Table Talk today. It's just like, the champs shouldn't be the one to have to share their money, or to feel that they have to share the money. And to see the people's faces being like, I got something. And it was kind of like last season, where Devin and Tori and everybody was like, oh my gosh, that's incredible that you're doing this. It's like, MTV, you've been doing, you were sharing money the whole time. Like, if we go back to Dirty 30, if we go back to even 33, I mean, everybody got money. 33 was the last time. 35 was when they decided to start making it all just for the champions. So I mean, from 33 up, everybody was getting money. First, second, and third place. I don't think fourth place ever got money. It's like we're an audience. If you've been watching since back then, we're an audience that is like, cool. I understand. Like, just give people money. It doesn't even matter. You just give the lion's share to first place and then kick back some for second and third. I mean, we're gonna get to the point where the Vacation Alliance will be like, oh, well, be in an alliance with me and I'll give you 20% or I'll give you 10%. And that's not going to be fun to watch because now we have an alliance built on I'm going to kick back you money, whether we know about it or not. And it's just like, just make it to where it doesn't have to be fully $1 million to the first place. Just make it to be all three. To me, it's just like ridiculous.
Yeah, share your part of $1 million. First, second, and third place gets a piece of the pie. Now you just got to get there. I mean, I think that they felt or they feel that it's going to be more cutthroat with like having such a big prize pot. I personally think, and I think I've mentioned it to you before, is that having it be so much money makes people play so much more reserved because like that's a lot of money on the line and you don't want to like necessarily make a big move and get themselves kicked out. So they're just going to be like, oh, you know, I'm not going to do, oh, I'm not going to play, oh, I'm not going to make a big move. Like it makes them scared. And so it just doesn't allow people to seemingly play as hard as I would want them to play, especially for the stakes being so high. Also with like the winners giving away part of their prize, I think it's gonna have negative effects for future seasons because if that's the precedent, right? It's kind of like them sharing the money without saying we're sharing the money. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like if you get to the end, like the new rule is that we share the money amongst the top three finishers. And so it will also make you play less hard or be in alliances. And so I think that's going to take away any sort of if Olivia and Horacio come back and I don't think that they're going to want to get those vets out because they kind of have like a pact with them now because it's some blood money. I just feel like, I think it's going to really stifle potential new players wanting to take out some of these vets, being that like Horacio and Olivia. I don't know. It's neutering the game.
I completely agree. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, I don't know. It's no, just don't do it. I was going to say something and I can't remember because my brain is just like mush right now, but it's like, that's exactly how it's going to be too. And that, I mean, if like this same thing happens like next season, because now even Devin and Tori, this is what I was going to say. Devin and Tori talked about how it was like, oh, last season, CT and Casey kicked back some money and I would like to start a new tradition. It's like, shove it. I don't want to see this. Because now it's like, I think TJ and MTV kind of set Casey and CT up because they gave them the opportunity to say, you can share the money if you want. I mean, if you say no, you're kind of the jackass at that point. You know, if CT and Casey were like, even though they don't need to share anything with anybody because they won hands down, they won within the parameters of the rules, but they're kind of like, those are their friends. They've played so many seasons that if they say no, it's kind of like a slap in the face. And then, oh, I'm going to be thrown in the first time I come back next time, even though I'm CT and everybody loves me. They would have an opportunity to throw me in. And so now it's like, if they keep on doing the only first place gets money, I mean, this is where it's going to be like really bad to where now it's like the precedent is set to where now whoever wins next time and they get all the money is going to be a jackass because they didn't share anything, which is dumb. Just keep all your money.
It's not good. It's not good. I like good on you, Devin, for like just trying to be, I don't know why he did that, but like I get it, but it sucks. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Hi, Matthew. Matthew says this season was awesome up until Nerys and Nelson left, and then the last third of the season really dragged with minimal drama and everybody being buddy. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I do think that Nerys and Nelson were the fall Fall Guys at the certain point that they were doing so well up to a certain point, and then once they split up, I mean, they showed where they truly lied, and that was at the bottom, and that just really stunk for them because they were messy, they were fun to watch, they were very personable, both of them. And then yeah, I think it was a mixture of who was left and then what was happening in the game with that twist just dragging on everything, and then it was just nobody had a storyline at that point. I felt
So bad. So MV says, if only the slingshot didn't take Olivia and Horacio. It's true. I actually think with how the elimination went, they actually very could have won. They actually allowed, like, it was such an even thing, because like I think that Olivia and Horacio could have won balls in against any of the teams potentially. And I think that they could have done the cinder block thing. I don't know. They might have been able to win.
I think they would have had a really good shot.
Definitely would have. Yeah, I think that they could have come in first or second, which I think wild.
If the plan was to get two teams at the end, no matter what, there was going to be another elimination and or a purge on one of the days. Jordan and Anisa would have been purged if it came down to running or the eating. I think besides the crazy 8 puzzle, I mean, Jordan and Anisa finished last in every single part of these finals. So besides the crazy 8 puzzle, which I don't even think is called crazy 8, I'm just calling it the crazy 8 puzzle. But I think they would have been purged or eliminated first. Then it would have been against Olivia and Horacio, Benani, and then Tori and Devin. And if Olivia never got hurt, I think that the two uninjured teams, the two strongest teams of Olivia and Horacio and Tori and Devin would have been at the final. And I think they could have done it. Honestly, they could have done it.
So what's MV saying here? The show would benefit with the 250K prize money and shorter film period. I mean, I don't know if they'll do that ever, but like, they need to do something. I mean, I'm going to watch it no matter what. So that's never going to be like an issue. Like, I'm always going to watch it. I'm always going to cover it. But I do think that they need some fresh blood or something. I think also, have you been watching Australian Survivor this week?
No, I have not. I still need to get on that.
This whole season you haven't watched yet?
No, but you can talk about it. I'm not. Well, I don't care about spoilers.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to say is there have been 2 episodes that I think have been the best episodes of competitive reality TV that I think I've ever seen. And I think that all these shows need to kind of watch to show what they're doing. And I don't know. So I want to hear your opinion, but if you haven't watched it yet, like, you can't really give it to me. But I really think that you should watch it. You're not too far behind. 9 episodes have aired so far. Please catch up, because like, I just need to hear your opinion about 2 episods. But it's all good. Yeah. All of it's really good, and 2 episodes are exceptional. Anyways, back to the challenge.
I would say to that person, 250K is too low at this point. You can't go really past $1 million. Make the prize money $1 million still, but have 800K be split between the 2 winners up at the top, and then allocate 200,000 between second and third place, where second gets more than third place. And you're good. I mean, you still got everybody getting some cash, and then it's a reasonable enough amount to where people would want to push themselves to get at least second place or first place and not want to get third place. But at least if you get third place, you get something. So I think that would be a lot better than now we're assuming that everybody's just supposed to give up money at the end of the day, which is just like ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, and also, though, like, Bananas and Nani wouldn't have just been like, oh, we're not going to win now, so let's stop completing this puzzle. Like, if they had to complete that puzzle to be able to get second place money, they would have continued on at least. It also really annoyed me that they didn't. I get it. Like, they're close to finishing, and it was probably going to take you an hour to undo and redo that puzzle. I get it. But at least if there was money on the line for them to complete it, then they would have. So yeah, they need to bring these tiers in. They need to have, like, you suck, you go right into elimination. Those are a couple things that they need to have. They need to not bring back Anisa, not bring back Casey. I don't mind Nani coming back. I feel like she just needs to be back without having, like, she needs to fight harder. Like, we need to see her in action where she's like making friends with newbies. Like, I just don't want to have her to have so much security in the game where she has to like put in some work and like sometimes go down there because she doesn't have numbers. Who else do we not want to see?
I mean, people would make an argument for Anisa
To come back?
You said not to come back. Who do we
Yeah,
not
no,
want
I don't
to
want
see?
to. I don't know. I don't
Did
want
you
to see
say
her. Not.
Didn't you just say that? Who do we not want to see?
Yeah,
That's
correct. No,
what
I thought you said you want to see Anisa, and I was like, there's people arguing that they want to see her, and I was like,
I would rather see Anisa if she would put in the work or some form. Like, I don't want to see her if she's just like gonna come on and complain on her podcast about how, or Bananas podcast saying like everybody just wants me to retire, even though me and Johnny are the same age. But because you're a man, people are okay to see you come back. But
that's not
because
true.
I'm a woman, it's like, that's not it at all. You're getting the wrong impression of what people are trying to tell you. It's like Bananas actually works out and still wants to compete somewhat. I mean, I'd put a gray area on this season. He didn't really have to do much to get far. Anisa actually did more than Bananas to get to this point, but Bananas is also still working out and trying to work hard on himself. Whereas Anisa just comes in assuming she's going to make it far because of social ties and just should get a win because of her legacy in the game, as she said in this episode. And it's like, that's not how it works. Nothing's going to get handed to you because you've done how many seasons. It's just not how it goes.
No, it's not at all. So Elena is with me because King George is the best, Danielle, catch up. It's so good. Like, one tribal, I was like shaking. It was so compelling. Like, it's just so good. It's made me like, I'm like, oh my god, I need to play one of these games. Like, I need to do it. You know, it's really good right now.
Interesting.
Really, really well, let's look at our tiers here and see where we're going to place these final teams. Oh, let me just drag them back down. I mean, there's not much to say about them because we've been talking about them for the last 3 weeks, and we obviously know who the winners are now. Are there any new tiers that you want to bring in? Like, drop the ball twice? Anything?
I mean, we can put in drop the ball. But I mean, I feel like the tiers are already set up with how everything went down, in my opinion. I mean, it's hard not to think how these are going on. I mean, we can call a knee buckle dropping the ball. I mean, multiple people are going to be going in that one, I would think.
Balls out.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, we can change it to balls. Where are we going to put balls out? As in built for comfort? Or is it swimming in the swamp? Maybe swimming in the swamp is balls out.
Yeah, we could do that.
Balls out. All right. Anything else? Anisha's cooch, does that need to go?
We can take that out.
Tori's weird fart and peeing at the end.
Oh my gosh! Please no! Don't bring that up.
It really annoyed me that she did that.
And how long they lingered on it too. Like, this is gonna get a laugh. No, just move on.
It was no laugh.
We do not need anything.
Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, this is our winner. Like, obviously, so like, I don't care that much, but like, I just didn't understand why it was said and why we need to be shown it, because there's a lot that was left on the cutting room floor, and that didn't make it there.
Pretty much.
Cut it.
Pretty much, like,
they wanted to be like, oh, she's just like she's one of you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's okay. Just move on. Just Let's get to the point where Bananas and Nani are yelling at each other, and Nani's like hitting Bananas' arm out of her face.
Yeah. Okay. I do want to talk okay. Let's talk then about Nani and Bananas then. So I'm not
Let's do
sure
it.
where to put them yet. We talked a little bit about how she kind of gets in her own head, gets in her own way. She doesn't allow herself to be a winner. She doesn't know how to she doesn't know how to tune in and focus, right? And it is challenging to get into the zone and to focus. But what really bothered me is that she couldn't just snap out of it to listen and get that puzzle done. Like, no matter what, you guys both have the same objective, right? You want to get this puzzle done. You want to get it done faster than Tori and Devin, and you want to win this season. So what is like screaming at Bananas, being like, well, will you do it? Like it had no purpose. No, like there's no trying to get something done. Like, there was no reason for the screaming when Bananas is just like, just put it there, like organize it. This is your jurisdiction. You make it neat. You know what I mean? And like she was just yelling at him and following him over back to gather the tinder blocks. So what the heck happened there? Why did she fall off the rails and wasn't able? Like, it wasn't a difficult puzzle, I felt. I mean, other than it being heavy and a lot of pieces, it wasn't that hard.
I think that's the thing. It was heavy in a lot of pieces and also the pressure on top of everything. But I think she was like following Bananas's go there as well, because she was what I remember of it is like she was trying to like say what the puzzle was and where they should start it. And then Bananas came at it just like yelling at her or being like raised his voice to where she just felt like she needed to raise it up higher for him to actually hear her or to get some response out of her. So I almost feel like they're both to blame on that, where she was saying something, but he didn't have to come at it that way. I know he was in the moment and trying to like move the blocks and everything. It just set up a huge precedent for both of them to just start getting on each other when it's them versus Tori and Devin, not them versus each other, while also going up against Tori and Devin. So it was a
Like,
really bad look on both of them,
it was
especially
so
for Bananas,
frustrating.
who is a 7-time champ, who has been here now, I think 10 times. It's like, dude, like show that you've been here and like help get Nani to that point. It just seemed like he was more frantic than her at certain levels, and he's won 7 times. So it was just weird.
So Diana here is saying that Bananas took responsibility on his podcast, saying that he didn't want to keep bickering with Nani and just kept going instead of taking a minute to refocus. Well, this is it. Like, if I was in a final and somebody was yelling at me, bickering at me, or whatever, maybe I'll bark back at some points, or maybe I'll find it annoying. But I would also be adults enough to know that it's just the pressure that's making everybody act so like irrationally and like flailing, basically. And I would just do my part then. I'll just be like, okay, like this is not helpful. Let me organize this the way that I'm going to organize it. You just keep picking the box out. I'm going to organize the puzzle and just do it. Just do it. Just don't need to have the okay from Bananas that you're doing it right. Just you do it. And I don't know. I just wouldn't allow bickering to prevent me from getting a puzzle done well. Because a puzzle, there's always there's a right answer. And that's what's great about a puzzle, is there's a right answer. So just do the puzzle.
It's also it's still early on in that whole game. Like, that's just the second room. Like, make sure you do it right. I mean, just the sheer amount of puzzles and knowing how many pieces you're going to have to move, you're going to want to move them once. So at that point, you need to take a step back and be like, just get this done. If we get this done correctly the first time, even if we're behind a little bit from them, or if they get through the dirt or start moving the dirt before us, we can possibly make up some time later down the line. But they were just going so quickly that they needed to take a break instead of just putting it in, trying to go 0 to 60 and never slowing down, which is the exact wrong move in that sense for a puzzle.
Well, and I don't like Devin obviously had the best strategy, but I feel like it's the only strategy to do puzzles, and that is you sort. The first thing that you do for any puzzle, like if I'm doing a puzzle, 1,000-piece puzzle at home, I sort the pieces. So all the edges together, and then all the other pieces I'll put in piles of light colors, and like, oh, if there's like, I don't know, chandeliers, put all the things that look like a chandelier in certain areas. You sort them in areas, and then you build the outside and you work and put the pieces in. That's kind of like, it's just kind of methodical. And so the fact that they didn't do that, I'm just like, come on, guys. A puzzle, like, that's something that you can control about a puzzle, is being methodical about it. And the fact that they were still ahead of Tori and Devin when they were wrong, that they still, if they had not screwed up the second time, then I think that it would have maybe at least been neck and neck for during the wall. So
yeah, and I think that's what MTV was hoping for, was that it was going to be way closer. Also, shout out to Devin and Tori for doing the puzzle on the side that Bananas and Nani couldn't see, and they did the wrong thing on the side that they could see, to where Bananas and Nani almost took the bait by constructing the puzzle with a solid line down at the bottom, and then starting the diamond, and then working up instead of working on the opposite side and trying to think for themselves of like, how many pieces is this going to be? Does it start at the very bottom, or should we? It looked like Nani just looked over at what Devin and Tori were doing, saw what they did, and then just took it from there and just recreated the puzzle, and then was like, oh crap, we did it wrong. And then Devin and Tori was able to move that line easily and fix up the whole puzzle, which, I mean, it was a brilliant move if that was what they were going for. I listened to the Challenge Official podcast. They didn't really say that that's what they were going for, but it did seem like Nani and Bananas were trying to go second from them and then try to surpass them in recreating the whole thing, which did not work out. They just completely shackled and meltdown. One of the worst I've ever seen on a final, in my opinion, is just a complete and utter, just like crumbling.
I haven't done those puzzles in a long time, but I've been doing puzzles since I was like 18 months. My mom tells me stories like, you've been doing 100-piece puzzles since you were 18 months, and you used to slap puzzle pieces out of my hand when I'd put them in the wrong spot. So I've been doing puzzles my whole life. I haven't done a puzzle in a while, but I'm still pretty good at puzzles. I've done, like, I played some orgs, so I've done some online puzzles, but I haven't done an in-person puzzle in a bit. In a little bit, but yeah. 1,000 pieces is not that bad. It isn't that bad. So where are we putting these two? Oh, man, I think I'm going to put them in. Someone stole their toys, knocked their ice cream out of their hands, and popped their damn balloons, especially for Nani going there for sure, for the fact that, like, she just didn't have the juice. She couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if we could have dropped the ball in somewhere, I mean, they would be in that one as well. Even though they got second place, and I think they should be the highest team. I mean, the highest team outside of Devin and Tori. I mean, they deserve to be in this spot. Even Bananas, who said he couldn't physically move any more cinder blocks. He just wanted to call it. And then him crying in the confessional saying that,
I mean, I got a little
just
choked up
him
when he
losing.
cried.
I didn't.
A little bit choked up. Because, like, I think that he felt like he let Nani down, but, like, he just wasn't able to rein her in. And he allowed him to get emotional, and he didn't calm her down. And so he did lose it for her in the sense that, like, he knows that she kind of goes like that, and he didn't do what he needed to do to really settle in, you know. Okay, so that's kind of where I have them. Do you want to switch their order, or
I'm cool with that order. I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. I guess next up we'll talk about Miss Comfort herself and Jordan. Where do they go? Built for comfort? Like, I don't know. I was really annoyed when, like, I said this on my channel when we talked about the episode right after. And when she was like laying down after Nani got like her second ball in or whatever it was, and then she gets up, she's like, "Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Like, I don't quit. I don't quit." I just like, come on, you're not gonna try to be hard now. Like, I just thought it was really annoying and embarrassing because like I think she was doing that because she knew that she wasn't gonna be able to do well, but she wanted to look like she was fighting through the pain and that she was not gonna let like her ankle or her knee hold her back.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It was a moment that I was just like, it was sad to see her go out that way, but I also wasn't like super surprised how she went out. I almost think that out of all moments, she would have almost been better off going out this way with some sympathy instead of everybody making jokes about her ankle and her like walking the whole final. But it was a little sad, but I definitely think she's built for comfort as she needs to do something else if she needs to up her game before coming back to any season, whether it's All Stars or the main season. So
Yeah. And like, so what do you think about people saying that it was a low blow for Nani to go for her ankles?
I mean, she had to go low. I don't know if she did say that she needed to go for the ankle in the confessional, so I mean maybe that was her intent, but she had to go low to stop Anisa. If she went to go get her head on, she was going to fall into the end zone every single time like she did that one time where she just turned around and then flopped into the end zone and then got up and dropped the ball in. So she needed to go low. She needed to go for her feet. Whether she was intent to go for the ankle or not, she had to like wrap up her feet to make sure she didn't fall into the end zone and try to get the ball out. So I don't fault Nani for going low because she had to. I mean, the Nisa has so much more mass against her. Like it's like Jerome Bettis versus a middle schooler, it seemed like. I mean, it's not going to end well for Nani if she's going to go head to head up high against Anisa. So I don't blame Nani for going low. It's just the intent. The intent, I don't know if it was there to actually hurt Anisa, but she cried anyways.
I agree with King Cash here. It's only a low blow if you're not in a final for $1 million. Like if you are not fit to perform and allow people to, it's a physical one-on-one physical combat competition at this point. And so to be like, "Oh, I had to be really careful about her injury," like then you shouldn't be competing if you're not if your whole body isn't fair game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that she should poke her in the eyes. I'm not saying she should rub sand in her eyes. Like, I'm not saying she should do anything, tilt her hand back, break her finger. Like, I'm not saying her to do that. But like, if your ankle is hurt because of the final, like that's just bad luck, I think. And I think it should be fair game, personally.
Well,
Yeah.
and at that point, if even just Nani going below the waist in any way, like to even trip her up, I mean, at that point, Anisa could have gotten even more injured anyways, whether she was going after the ankle, she just went down for her knee 2 minutes prior to her falling down and kind of giving up on that elimination. So, I mean, I don't think she was going to win regardless at that point because she was either going to blame the knee or her ankle for her not being able to get much further into the end zone. I mean, I'm surprised she didn't like try to make a move on Nani and just completely fall before even being touched because of the way that Nani just easily got around her 2 minutes before her asking for the ball. So I don't know. I think that it's not a fun way to go out, but it's kind of the way that Anisa would have wanted to go out to get more sympathy from everybody and for her and Jordan to have that moment at the end rather than just completely lose or be purged because she was walking the whole final. But yeah.
Alex Cooper is saying it's funny Maria called out Anisa milking her ankle injury back on Dirty 30.
This is classic. We know that she's going to have some sort of injury on the show. She's built for comfort, not for the challenge anymore. That's just it seems. And are we putting Jordan at the same spot? Someone else was suggesting that Jordan might go into suffocating cake for having to run the final with Anisa.
I would put him next to Bananas and Nani personally.
Okay, yeah, like it's he got to a final and had no shot.
Well, he also dropped the ball. He kept on the long sleeve shirt. Bananas was able to outsmart him in that way by taking off the long sleeve shirt, and then it was his downfall, and he was able to poke out the ball. I mean, if Jordan wins that round, more than likely they win the game, getting 3 balls in. So I think having Jordan lose out in a game where his partner completely just is broken, and then he comes out to watch the rest of the finals, I think that's just like and I'm sure he's thinking we could have won this. If we could have gotten to this point, I feel like he would have been able to been like, this is it. It's not even like a final race or anything. Like, no movement really had to be done. We could have done this. I think
and like she can carry stuff. Like we definitely seen her move those cinder blocks in that other challenge. So yeah, anybody could have won that final challenge. Like it was any person's game for sure, any team. Yeah, so his balloon got popped for sure.
Yeah. And I agree with Sudani Speaks, who says that Jordan seemed like he wasn't fully in the elimination. I mean, when they get to the middle of the cornfield third and he just is like completely, it just seems like he is just, I don't know, bewildered at that point. Like he is just at that point where, all right, we're going to have to do another thing. We're going to have to do something else. Like we just can't catch a break. We have to do everything the hardest way possible because we're just so deficient that we can't seem to get to that next level, and to have to do another thing. Like, I'm sure he wanted to win regardless, especially against Bananas, but with how Anisa was going and completely broken at that point, I think he was just like, all right, we're fighting a way harder uphill battle, just trying to compete at the level I want to, not even trying to stay up with Tori and Devin, who are in first place for majority of the time, and then Bananas and Nani, who are also always ahead of us somehow.
So Alex Cooper is saying, I still think Jordan being with Anisa was a publicity stunt to repair his public image. Agree or disagree?
I mean, hearing that they both had different partners and then they both kind of left, I don't think it was. I think if they came in together as original Ride or Dies, yes, I would say this is a complete publicity stunt. But I think he was just really wanting to compete, especially after coming back to doing All-Stars 3. I think he felt like he was ready. He wanted to come back. He wanted to show that he is ready to compete, and he would do it with whoever. Like, I think he wanted to be with Naya, especially after what happened in All-Stars 3. But when she kind of pulled out and then they were like, well, you're going to have to be with Anisa, he's like, I don't care. I'll be with Anisa. Let's go. I know who Anisa is. And maybe he was thinking, I'll take on this level of competition to where I'm not only trying to compete to win, but I can show everybody that I can make Anisa a winner also in that kind of sense, which, I mean, he got third place. So, but I don't think it was a complete publicity stunt. No. But I think it did a great job to his image. After he stopped yelling at Anisa, I think it was a better after the whole yelling with Tori and then deciding not to yell at Anisa and be condescending to her, then it was like, fine. So, yeah.
So Dabu says, ooh, how many injuries can someone have until you call it quits? Dirty 30, Chance versus Stars, 38, all ankle injuries, Spies, Lies, and Allies, shoulder. Now it's an ACL injury, 9-month recovery, retire already. Do you agree with this statement?
I don't think she will ever fully retire, and I don't think she needs to, but I also think that she can become like an All-Stars exclusive. Like, she fits the bill of All-Stars way more than she fits the bill of the main series. She's not as spicy anymore. She's not here for hookups for all these younger fellas. And also, Also, like, everybody's like booed up now at this point, so it's like we're not even getting hookups anymore for majority of these seasons. So she made it to the finals in All Stars. Yes, she made it to the finals here, but at this point, just have her be All Stars. Be the the reporter from All Stars to do the Challenge Official podcast if you still want her to be the co-host there, and then that's good. You know, have somebody else report from the main series. But that's how I feel.
I mean, I like Anisa, but I think I'm done for the fact that I don't enjoy seeing someone hurt. I don't
Agreed.
enjoy seeing someone complain that much without taking it into their own hands. And she's, as you said, not really offering any other things anymore. Like no fights, no hookups, no like. Okay, yeah, she's won a couple eliminations, but like I don't know. Like, I just don't need to see what she's going to do anymore. And I don't know if she brings enough spice, as you say, to kind of make the season any more interesting. So maybe if she goes away for 5 years and she comes back to All Stars at like 45, and you'd be like, oh my God, she got shredded. And like, let's see how she can do now. Okay, maybe. But right now, I don't need to see her. She needs to heal her body and train. And I don't think she's going to do that because she's built for comfort.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And even in that sense, why couldn't she be like, I don't know, like just give her like a producer nod in the episodes and then have her do behind the scenes. If you want her to be on the main season and have this rapport with players, then have her be around to like get to talk to everybody and to be there before they're being on the podcast. But we don't need her taking up another space against somebody who could actually be in contention to win or be a new face of the challenge or something else, because we know what we're getting with Anisa. She makes it far and then leaves her. So
yeah, I don't need any more of her. I'm sorry, girl, but I'm good. I got enough. All right. We got our winners now, and I guess there's no real other place to put them other than most valuable pasta, or do we want to change the name? Farting their way to the finish line?
I do not want to do that.
Neville Dickey's screaming at you.
I was gonna try to make a play on the words that we used to have, which was Queen of the Day, but
Queef
it would
of
be
the Day?
Queen of the Daves.
No, Queef of the Daves.
Yeah.
That's really gross, but like, we'll just pretend it wasn't a fart; it was a queef. Okay.
Oh wait, what? That's what we're naming it? What?
Are you against that, or is it not nice enough?
I mean, you can name it whatever you want.
You don't want Queef of the Daves?
Go ahead. I mean, we're gonna have to change all of these, I think, for when we do the reunion stuff.
Yeah. We'll just Okay, I'll put it Queen, but I think Queef is still funny. Queen of the Daves. I mean, listen, like I don't personally feel as though the final was that hard. As I said already, I feel like I would be able to complete it. And with the fact that it wasn't a race, really, like, if I could take my time and it's only just like racing to get 5 minutes or like a chalk bomb or more chalk bombs, like, I probably wouldn't be trying that hard and I would be able to complete all those checkpoints pretty easily. And I'm good at puzzles. So I would imagine that maybe I would still be able to pull ahead. They did win. They did put in the work with like strategically throughout the entire season. Like Devin did make deals with people, like they weren't on anybody's radar, and people really allowed them to get to the end and win. They were the only elimination that they saw was in the very, very beginning, and they came back against Kayla and Sam, and they were able to get through like 15 other eliminations like scot-free. So I definitely think that they played a winning game in that sense.
I just feel for me that it was just a little bit of an underwhelming win because it didn't seem like neck and neck, or that it was that hard, or like it just didn't seem that satisfying to see them win at the end. But I do think that they were for sure the most deserving winners this season for the journey that they went on.
Agreed. I mean, kind of like we can't combat Casey's win too much because she played within the parameters of what was set up by production for the finals. And it was just unfortunate that Tori, who was winning 90% of last season's finals, came up just short behind Casey and CT because of terrible formatting and rules. So this season, she wins pretty much 90% of the finals again, but somehow is able to get that win and to finally get it. And like you said, I'm not a huge Tori and Devin fan. I'm definitely not stans of them, but I'm also not huge fans of them. But when it comes down to just looking at how they were doing this finals, I can definitely say that I'm content with them winning for how dominant they were in these finals. And just how everybody else, compared to how everybody else played. Granted, I think Olivia and Horacio would have done well, but they were taken out pretty early and wasn't able to compete. But I do think that Devin and Tori did well. So congrats to them. New champions, finally. We have somebody that's not named CT or Bananas to win since 34. On the guys' side, so congratulations to for that we can even 34 CT was one, but Rogan was the only new winner at that point. Gross. But other than that, yeah, it's been a while. So happy about that.
So you know what? I'm actually looking forward to how insufferable of a champ Devin is going to be, because at least he's kind of funny about it. I like him going up against Fessy and being like, you know, Fessy, I win, you lose. Like, it's fine. I'm fine with it for now. Because he did win. So I don't mind Devin being insufferable. I'm okay with it. Right now, maybe I'll just eat my words, but right now it's okay. So yes, the reunion does look like it's going to be exciting. And yeah, see, Lauren likes Devin as well. I like Devin. But he is in power. Well, this is kind of it for our ranking. Is there anything else you would like to say about these winners or whatever?
Just happy it's pretty much done and wrapped up. We're just gonna have to endure the reunion. Much looking forward to Global Championships, All Stars 4, and the new batch, and then also tentatively looking out for when the Challenge 39 availability calls will go out, and making sure that Olivia and Horacio's name is at the very top of Challenge 39 call sheets, and hoping that they are confirmed, because that's where like rubber meets the road for me, like looking towards next season. Like this season was fine, it wrapped up, but now it's like we need to see which rookies are coming back from this season, because there are a good amount of them that I want to see come back for the next season and see what they can do in a different theme and a different style. And so that's where I'm going to be very much looking forward to.
So Envy wants to know, which rookies do we want to see back? Obviously, Horacio and Olivia. I'll give one. I mean, you love her too, but Nerys, I would love to see back. She will be back, I think.
Yeah. I'm cool with Johnny being back as well. He's messy. He is a little cocky, but he brings something to the show that we've kind of been missing ever since Corey became a dad. He seems like a Nelson 2.0, but I don't know, a little bit more he has a little bit more flair to him because I think he's younger than Nelson. So I'm kind of looking.
Even though he's younger, he seems a little bit smarter. Sorry, Nelson.
I'd agree with that. He's also willing to, try to make some big moves happen. So yeah, I agree with that.
Anybody else you want to see back? Newbies or rookies?
I would say, I like Kim. Kim was really funny in his confessionals, and I would like to see Colleen. I think both of them were really fun. I wish we would have seen all of what they were brought in. I mean, after hearing Devin and Colleen getting into it and having to write a letter to be saying sorry and stuff, like I think
Well, I
they
wonder
could have
that
done
that's why they
more.
didn't show it, because they know the
Mhm.
outcome is them the winners, and so they didn't want him to look bad.
Probably. But I would have liked to seen Colleen and Kim, especially if like they're not going to get wrapped up in Fessy's BS. I felt like a lot of what Colleen was getting wrapped up into was the relationship with Fessy. Maybe if they do an X's season, Colleen and Fessy could be partnered up together, which would be very, very interesting. Raven is pretty decent, especially if we could she brings in the fire that she brought in this season. I don't know. There's just a lot of people that I thought had a really, really strong chance. Maybe if Chauncey wants to come back and try to win some money for Amber and their baby, I would be down with that. If he would like to come back, he seemed really hype. I would like to see him get redemption for a Heights challenge. If
I don't know if he'll do
he
it.
wants to do that. But yeah, it's just there's so many people that I would like to see come back. That's not the same tried and true. Mariah, I would like to see come back. Maybe her and Bananas. I think she's the only ex that Bananas would be fine to run with, since they don't have a complete like hatred for each other.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do an extra season. I don't know if this is like a real rumor or like just a speculation rumor, but some people are saying that next season's supposed to be Ride or Dies 2 with same-sex partners. What are your thoughts on that? And is there a same-sex Ride or Die duo that you would be looking forward to see?
Oh man, I made this fantasy cast called Challenge Allies way back when, before Challenge 37. You can pull out Leroy, Bananas and Leroy. Let's do it. They'll put up a cinder block puzzle together.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That would be the duo. He would help him win that. I think that they could work together well enough to win a final.
That'd be super interesting. I think think of this though, because they talked about it so much with like Horacio and Jordan being friends. What if they were like a paired up together? Like,
that's a good pair.
That would be devastating.
Whoa.
That'd be devastating. That's like good cop, bad cop. Honestly,
and I think team.
That'd be rough for everybody. Oh my gosh.
I was thinking like I would love to see. Let's get Nerys and Deandra in there.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I don't know how. Well, Deandra's probably pretty fit. We already know that Nerys won't quit and she's good at puzzles. So, like, I think that they could be a fun little duo, a rookie duo.
Devin and Josh.
Devin? Oh, because no, they're not friends, are they?
They seem pretty buddy. They did go vacation with each other. So let's see if Devin can make Josh a champion.
No, it's gonna be Devin and Kyle or Devin and Wes. Those are way better duos.
No, they want Josh back.
Well, Josh, we can give Josh. Who's his friend? Does he have any male friends? Fessy?
It'll be Devin and Josh and Tori and Anisa. There you go. Try to reclaim. Try to win again. Try to win again. Try to win again. Nani and Casey, yeah, that would definitely be. That's trying to get Nani. That's trying to get Nani her championship a second time, because this is like her golden time, and they're like, okay, we need to try to get her another win before she call it quits for this makeup business.
Amanda and Ashley, yes. Amber B and Cara Maria, do they know each other?
I know Paulie commented on Amber B like when people were ragging on her. So I think there's an assumption that Cara and Amber B know each other. But Amber is also pregnant, and she's probably not going to be coming back anytime soon, or possibly ever. Do you think that
she finds out she's pregnant on whatever the champion one? Global?
I hope not. But when was that filmed? Right?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't understand the timeline.
I hope not. I hope she's not pregnant while on that show.
Like, what happens at the reunion when Nani is like, "Oh my god, congratulations," or something like that, and like that sounded like a pregnancy announcement type thing. Would that have been
I don't know.
after Global?
They filmed. I thought they filmed the reunion not super recently, but recently. And Global Championships had already wrapped up, I believed.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Olivia
I don't
and
know the
Justine are
timelines. I
friends.
really have no idea.
Olivia and Cash would be, if they're still friends, could be a good duo.
Yeah.
Justine and Olivia are from different seasons, so they might know each other. But
Let's
I don't
bring
think
in Wes and Nehemiah. I would love Wes and Nehemiah.
that'd
Honestly,
be fun.
that's I would rather Wes be with Nehemiah than Devin, in my humble opinion. Especially with how Nehemiah plays All Stars, I would love that.
I don't know if they're friend, but I'd take Kaz and Georgia for sure.
Which Kaz though? Which
I think
Kaz? Which Kaz?
Theo's ex.
She's
No?
in jail, or possibly going to jail
for coke in Dubai or something else.
She got arrested. Yeah, she got arrested.
Was it blow in Dubai?
It was a drug offense, yeah, in Dubai. So it said that she could face up to 3 months in jail.
Well, let's read this. This is breaking news, guys. Breaking news. Let's look at it. Okay, so Love Island star Kaz Crossley is released from the hellhole Dubai jail and says it was the most terrifying experience after a video of her snorting white powder emerged. That was so long ago that video emerged, though. Love Island violinist Kaz has been released from a Dubai jail. She was reportedly arrested over alleged drug offenses. The reality star, 27, was held in custody by authorities in Dubai for 4 days after she was detained in Abu Dhabi airport while transferring to a flight to Thailand. She has described her terrifying ordeal after she was jailed and left confused about why she was being held there with no translation available to her. In 2020, she filmed appearing to snort white lines of powder in Dubai when hordes of influencers flocked there to escape COVID-19 restrictions in the UK, claiming they were there for work. Miss Crossley told friends that she was locked up with 30 other women in prison in 30-degree heat, describing it the most terrifying experience of my life.
I bet.
Oh, it does look like she's doing some white powder. The reality star has now been released without charge after being held in Dubai's central prison and questioned about a video from 2 years ago in which the influencer wearing an orange mini dress was seen holding a nostril as she snorted white powder during a party in the city. As authorities did not have a translator, Miss Crossley was left confusing, frightening. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's pretty much it. Her agent said on Friday, Kaz has fully cooperated with officials and is free to continue her journey. Kaz was traveling through Abu Dhabi on her way to Thailand, where she was stopped by the UAE police and taken for questioning in relation to a matter that did not directly related to her, but officials felt they could assist in their inquiries. So she's fine.
Okay, cool.
She's out. And that was literally so long ago. So it's like,
it just popped up in my Instagram feed, though.
No,
so that's why it was.
This is new. This is new, but the offense was a while ago because I saw that back in the day. Back in the day. Ooh.
So it says, Global Champ was filmed in October. Reunion was filmed early December, which sounds about right. But how far along is she?
I don't know.
Is the question.
Probably not far.
Probably not
far, like 3-4 months.
Well, that's not. Is that October is like 3 or 4 months?
No, wait. You said November. November the reunion was filmed. Is that what you said?
Global Champ was filmed October. Reunion was filmed early December.
Okay, so then she could be pregnant at the reunion.
Yeah, Amber is 5 months. She is due in June.
5 months. 5 months. That's like October.
So yeah, she possibly could have been pregnant, yeah. That's not great. That's another possible pregnant woman on a challenge season.
I think she was pregnant on the Global.
Yeah, probably early stages.
Mm-hmm.
Not showing yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't seem to want to pay for a pregnancy test. Okay, well, that is pretty much it for this season. Let's get to my least favorite part of the pod, where Drew lets me know how badly he is kicking my butt this season. I didn't even have the winner. Tell me, Drew. Tell me.
Well, this is the time that we actually say everybody's points, right?
Well, I'm going to guess. Well, you tell me mine, and then we'll guess. You can say how many you got this episode, and then we'll guess to see how badly you beat me.
Okay. So coming in third place, of course, is Team Chris, who hasn't had a person in the season since episode 17, I believe. 16. I think it was 16 that Fessy and Mariah were eliminated. So he is still at 610 points. And then Team Chantele, you are in second place. You got a total of 63 points, going from 692 last week to 755 as your final score. That's your final. And then my team, I scored a total of 135 points this week.
Shut up. I hate you. Okay.
How many points do you think I have?
Wait, so how many points did I have? Say it again.
You had a total of 755 points.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so also, chat, how many points do you think that Drew had? Sorry, you said that and I wasn't even listening. You said I have 700 and what?
55 points. You
55,
scored 63 total points this week.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go with Drew having 987 points.
So 987 points, you think?
Wait, how you said that? That seems like it's way I'm lowballing it. Wait, okay, people
I'm
think
just
that
asking.
I know he's 50 billion. No, 1450. You think that he has that much? 1200 or higher? Let's think. How much does my highest scorer have?
Your highest score is Bananas and Nani with 424 total points.
Oh, so maybe you do.
Holy
have higher.
heck. They have you. Your next highest scorer is Amber and Chauncey at 168 points. Wow.
Okay, so actually I'm changing my number, and I'm going to change it to actually 1,111 points.
Okay. I like how Lena says, look at his eyebrow, but my eyebrow is being hid by my glasses.
It did raise for a moment when you said, I'm just asking a question.
Oh, really?
You could see it raise, yeah.
It's from watching The Rock my whole life.
That TV show is actually pretty funny.
I have to catch up on it. Rock, it's that in Abbott Elementary.
I've been not caught up on. But The Rock, I've seen it on the airplane a few times, and it's pretty good.
Interesting.
I know he was so disappointed, and now he's doubling me. Okay, so it seems like most people think that you got over 1,400, over 1,200 for sure. I think that I'm still gonna stick with my 1111 lucky number, angel number. Drew, oh gosh, I'm nervous. Tell me.
I would like to know when I stopped saying my score, because
I don't know. I don't remember at all.
Because Killer says Drew stopped saying his score around the 700 mark, and that was weeks ago. Which really? I don't even remember that. I don't remember that. I don't even know. It was after.
I don't think it was 700. I feel like we were at 200, and you were 100 ahead of us when we stopped.
Yeah, I don't remember. I really I lost track of when I stopped saying my score.
Okay. Oh my god. If it's double 1111, I'm gonna hide in shame. How much is it, Drew? Oh my god.
All right. So this past week I scored 135 points, which add that to my score from last week, which was 1,161 points. I end the season with 1,296 points.
Woo! So you less than doubled me. Okay.
Pretty sad I couldn't score 4 more points to get to 1,300.
1,300.
But clearly Olivia and Horacio were the steal of the draft. I got them with my last pick, and they scored 333 total points. Thankfully, they got a few confessionals this past week, so I snuck in a couple of more points there. But comparatively to yours and Chris's last picks, they both scored 38 and 37 points. So that was almost 10 times what your last pick scored. My next highest was Anisa and Jordan, who scored 359 total points, and Tori and Devin, who won and got the winner's bonus, as well as majority of the bonuses of winning stations in the finals, which were plus 10 each. They ended with a score of 506 total points, setting a record. So
Ryan, we stopped once he started to pull very far away. We stopped revealing his points because he didn't want me to cry, and so we decided that we were going to save it till right now to share live how much Drew decimated both myself and Chris. Basically, Chris and me added together is what his score was. Right? What did Chris get?
610 points.
Hold on, let's see.
So
610. 610, and I got how many? 755?
Yes, that's 1365.
So like pretty close to both of us put together. We had the low point getters for sure.
Yeah, well, Casey and Kenny did not help you at all. Which makes me very it's going to be super interesting. I'll be honest, this is going to be super interesting going into the Global Champions draft with some of these players that are going to be now featured from this season onto that season. And it's going to be like, no, you take Casey. No, you take Casey. I don't want Casey. You take her.
Casey is going to be the sabotage.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to play probably sabotages. There's a couple of people, I'll be honest. There's a lot of people on this cast that I don't necessarily want in my Global Champions draft. I'll be honest. There's majority of these people on here I'm willing to swerve out of the way of. And it's kind of mainly due to this season that I'm willing to swerve away from them, to be honest. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That one's coming up next Friday, right?
So next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be going over to the Nullified Take, the TNT channel, with Chris to be doing our global championship draft, which will be fun and interesting. Do you get to pick the order again?
I don't know. Are we doing it based off of this draft, or are we doing it off of the USA draft? Because that is all that was a spinoff that Chris won, and that's technically what the spinoff is coming into is the Global Championship. So technically, he would who decimated me specifically in that draft was both you and Chris, because that wasn't my forte. I had the lone Danny. And Danny, who was the MVP for me, was the only person I had left in that game up until the very end. So, yeah, I'm worried. Let's just be real. I'm holding this crown with Tori and Devin being thank you, but now I'm worried.
Okay, so yeah, we'll let Chris start that one off for sure. Since he did win that draft, we'll let him.
I think we came up with a system last time after we got off of to see how it's going to go. I think we have a new system, which technically I might be going first again if we go off of how we were doing it. But Chris would get the chance of who to go picking men or women in the first go around, which could be that could be a real tough problem. So we'll see how it's going to go. But I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous though. But
yay! Yeah, excited
and nervous.
The problem is, I want to be able to watch all these spin-offs before going into that draft. I feel like I don't have enough information if I can't watch Argentina until April on Paramount Plus, because they're going to wait a month after the Global Championship starts. So
dumb. Yeah, we're going to talk about it
really
next week at this same time. Well, at 8 p.m. Eastern, but on the Nullified Take. I'll link this video actually to, I should have done it before, but I can link this to that. Can I do it now still? Maybe I can still do it now while I quiz you a little bit. So actually, before I quiz, just want to say thank you to Lena here for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Yay. Yes. Draft for Global next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. What's up?
Where we can give Chris the information on how he did in this draft. So we can maybe play some mental mind games with him next week before he has to make his picks. Also, I think I should get a shirt that says 1296 before next week's draft, so I can at least bask in it for a little longer.
Trouble. Hold on, I want to see if I can link this to his video before we get off. So just talk for a second, Drew, while I do it. Just talk about who you're excited for or something. Go ahead.
I will say that Dabu asked if we have heard about the ratings for Challenge Argentina. I did, and I had to sit there and think, was that millions or was that like thousands? Because it was like 20 point something number. And if that's in millions, that's crazy. That's insane numbers. I'm excited for a lot of people. I'm excited to see Wes back in a season like this. I'm definitely excited for Theo. I think Theo's the main talking point here. After not seeing him for quite a long time because of the eye, and then possibly not being cleared medically for 38, even though he was considered to be coming on to 38. I almost think that he wasn't I don't think he was necessarily not cleared by medical because of the eye. I almost think they wanted to wait. I think they wanted him to wait to make his debut back on the challenge in this kind of grandeur kind of season, where it kind of bodes well for him to have not only be on the MTV side, but also have some UK brethren coming in, and fellow Brits coming in. So I almost think that they wanted him to wait to be coming back, because he was on X on the Beach as well, which, I mean, there's not a lot of games in that, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Jody. I was surprised to see her on a season like this, but it's gonna be interesting. Jordan's coming on, so that's gonna be a repeat. Tori is gonna be on. No Devin. So yeah, Yes is gonna be here on the show as well, which is also gonna be interesting for how everything played out in All Stars 3. So it's gonna be quite interesting. I wonder if there's going to be any new dynamics, because Wes and Jordan seem to be working well in All Stars 3 together, and then Jordan and Bananas was working well in Challenge 38. I wonder if the three of them can work together, or if now that there's like new meat and new wafting air, and then the idea of being titled a global champion, I wonder if that's going to play into factor of like, okay, I want to take these people out. Like, I want to take out Bananas. I want to take out Wes. I want to take out Jordan. I don't want to play super nice because I want that title. And I don't know if I can beat A, B, or C in a final. I wanted that title. And there's a lot new meat in the game. It's not like you're playing against all challengers. So I wonder if there's going to be some manipulation there to try to get that way. I think there's so many different storylines that you could do. I think this is going to be fun.
I think it's going to be fun. Absolutely. The rumor mill says that they're going to be pairing up Challenge Legends with like these new CBS players. So I really like that. It's just going to
it's gonna be enjoyable for me to see these people mix together from different worlds. Like the MTV world doesn't really have anything to do with the CBS world for the most part, unless it's like Big Brother coming onto the show or the few people from the Survivor that came to the MTV show. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you think we'll know the format by next Friday?
I don't know. I don't even think we're gonna know we should know the full cast by next Friday. No, we won't, because isn't Paramount Plus dropping Challenge UK on the 25th and not the 24th? So technically we wouldn't have all the cast photos, I don't think, of everybody by that time.
That's so stupid.
I mean, we can find the information. I don't necessarily want to look up the information because then we could have possible spoilers, but
we're gonna
if we don't have everybody's cast photos by that time, we're gonna have to make do with
the MTV photos look good. Like I'm like, ooh, this looks nice. And then we're gonna have like some janky other photos for everybody else. Like
for 8 to 16 people? No, that's way too many people. 4 to 8? I can't remember. It's 4 to 8.
4 to 8 what? What?
Because isn't it? It's 14 MTV players. Then it's how many people are in this game? Then it's 8 Australians, 8 UK people, and 8 Argentina people, right?
I don't know.
No
idea.
I'm totally confused.
I feel like
or is
it
it
might
just
be only like 4? I think 4, 4, 4.
Oh, 4, 4. So we're only missing 8 then. We're going to miss 8 pictures if they don't have everybody from Argentina and the UK dropped. Why is it dropping on a Saturday? Why not drop it on a Friday? That makes more sense, right? Drop it on a Friday.
Makes no sense.
Unless the UK is watching it that week and it's the last episode Saturday. On Friday.
I was thinking it's like Saturday. They're 5 hours ahead? No, never mind.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's stupid. I'm pissed. Like, don't have this global championship if I can't watch who's the winner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really, to me, defeats the entire purpose of having global championships coming together to fight when I'm not invested in anybody. I didn't see anybody's season yet while we're watching their show. Like, it's just so stupid. Anyways.
Nobody say any of the people that are on the global championship from Argentina or UK at this moment, because
we haven't watched it.
We haven't watched it, and at least half of the people that you're going to name have won it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
So I don't want to know just yet.
And then 2 non-winners.
Yeah. Which, we're going to be at a huge disadvantage, since if it does drop on the 25th and we're not even going to be able to watch fully on Argentina, because I did see somebody say, Christina says, time for a VPN. I have a VPN.
I have a VPN. I can watch anything, but it's not on air.
Yeah, the website for Argentina only has episode 1 available, and then it tells you have to go get the rest of it from Paramount Plus, and I can't get Paramount Plus
Argentina.
On
exactly.
Yeah, so it's that frustrating part of like, I can go on the wiki and read how the season's going, but it's not going to tell me anything when I'm drafting people, to the point where we're just going to go in blind for 8 people. 4 to 8
you're just gonna
people.
Be like, okay, I'm gonna take the winner of Argentina female. That's how we have to, and then another person. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we're gonna have to draft them.
Yeah,
that's annoying.
Who's watching on Twitch?
Is it real? Someone has it on Twitch? Okay.
Dan says
challenge, it. Okay, I'll check it out then. Dan, if you could like post here the link to that'd be great. Also, I wasn't able to relink it because I needed to have done it before I went live, but this is the link to Chris's channel, the Nullified Take, where we will be doing the draft next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to just set yourself a little notification and reminder, you can. Also, Dan, if you can put the Twitch link in here, I wouldn't be upset at all. So we'll just do a quick little game. It's kind of a last minute game that I threw together, but it's going to be about some of the tweets that happened this week, the last couple of days after the winner has been announced. So at Ramel_Elijah says, I wonder what views this season were this season, because I honestly stopped watching when blank and blank went home. Who are those blanks?
I'm going to say It's either Nelson and Nerys or Olivia and Horacio. I'm going to say it's Olivia and Horacio.
You should have gone with your first thought. It was
Dang it.
Nelson and Nerys.
I knew it was
Okay,
either two of them.
yeah, I mean, I thought that you were just going to go in strong with Nelson and Nerys, but okay, so this picture here is the picture of the World Championships, and see Tori's right here at the front of the pack. Now, with this tweet from the Unbothered Pod, they write, "It's been fixed," and they Photoshop Tori Deal's face with another challenger's face. Who's the other challenger's face that has been photoshopped in?
Olivia?
No. Actually, let me take this out.
Who is
Yeah,
that? Ashley?
Yeah. I thought it was
Okay.
funny. That was funny to me. All right. Angelica says the ending of this final was so blank. What do you think word she used to fill in this blank here?
I'm going to say boring.
Close. It was underwhelming. Absolutely.
Close.
For a 100-hour final, I feel like half of those were spent blank at the blank.
Sleeping, relaxing at the camp.
Pretty close. Sleeping, chilling at the campsite. Yeah, pretty good. Bring back full team finals. The flashy lights and effects don't fool us. Blank final.
Bad final.
Weak.
Bad.
It was weak. It was a weak final,
Weak.
according to Brando. Gen X or Dilla, don't give a fuck or something like that, is replying to Fessy Fitness saying, "Man, you always have an excuse. If this, but that, but real winners take the L and say blank and leave it up to that."
Real winners take the L and say, "Them's the breaks."
Close. Congratulations. That's it.
Oh, congratulations.
Mackenzie says Tori and Devin winning the challenge was blank.
Is super rigged.
Well deserved, Drew. Well deserved.
Whoa, I went negative and they went positive.
Blank just standing there being an effing blank.
Banana's just sitting there being an effing banana.
No. Horacio just standing there being an effing snack.
He was dressed up to the nines.
He's so cute. This Joey says or tweets, this was actually one of the blank finals I have ever watched.
That one's the most boring.
Worse.
Dang.
Okay. I don't know what Ethan says. Blank stands are minimal but annoying. Like your girl said racist stuff, homophobic comments, fast shamed Big T, took steroids to win a final, cried to producers to have Turbo removed from season 34, got people not cast on the season so that production could get her a win. Who are they talking about?
So they're talking about Tori?
I suppose so. Yeah. So what's the steroids thing? Is that like what the rumor is?
I think Amanda said something to the fact of like she said something about Tori taking steroids. I never saw if it was confirmed or not.
Okay. Woo. Blank still sucks.
Devin?
Bananas.
Bananas.
Blank, stop going on the challenge. Shaking my head.
Anisa.
Yeah. So Devin tweeted, in case anybody wanted an update, blank seasons, blank finals, blank bronze, blank gold. Fill in those numbers. Or yeah.
7, 3, 2, 1.
Correct. You got it. 7 seasons, 3 finals, 2 bronze, 1 gold. And he did it all doing what?
I think I've seen this. He's talking about like drinking beers or something. Oh, well, drinking
Pretty close.
beers.
Yeah. And I did it all puffing darts with a can in my hand. Yes. This wasn't the blankest final in the challenge history, but it was up there amongst the most blank.
It wasn't the worst, but it was up there in the most disappointing.
You are correct, but no. This wasn't the weakest final in the challenge history, but it's up there amongst the most boring.
The one time I don't say boring is boring.
Only a full fat Coke tweeted, I can watch blank and blank over and over again. They were an absolute dream to watch to compete this season, and so damn kind.
Olivia and Horacio.
Yes. That final blanked. I said it.
Stunk. I said
it. Sucked. Close.
Oh, so close. So close.
So finally got to watch the Challenge 38 finale, and I'm so freaking pumped that my blanks won. That blank representation, though. Congratulations.
Oh, my faves won. That Are You the One representatives or whatever representatives?
No. So freaking pumped that my Daves won that Western Massachusetts representation, though. I didn't know Tori was from Mass. MA.
I didn't know that either. What?
Maybe she's not.
Is she?
I don't know.
Maybe just I think Devin is.
Devin is. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Jessica Frey, who I do know, tweeted, #the Challenge 38 finale was a great episode of the blank.
Of the show? It's a great episode of the show.
No, it was a great episode of The Amazing Race. It kind of was The Amazing Race. Like it wasn't good, this episode. A 100-hour final is cool, a cool concept, but could have been executed better. Why no blank challenge? Why no real advantage for being in the blank? The maze should have been a race with, with puzzle solving, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, the first 2 blanks.
So why no sleeping challenge?
Close. Yeah, overnight challenge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that was a big comment in my comment section where it was, why is there no like having to stay up all night at one point,
Absolutely.
which I agree with.
Absolutely.
Like they could have done it. They could have done it with the corn maze. Like once there's the 2 teams left, and then they have to stand in their own cornfield instead of staying. All they did was sit there and look at corn like all day. That until TJ called them up for 3 hours left. It's like they could have done something. They could have done anything.
Ooh, so Danny says, did I see the beef with Sam and Kayla and OG Emily on the challenge Instagram? What happened, Joe? What happened?
So Sam and Kayla were making smoothies because they've been hired by the challenge MTV to do like shorts on YouTube and stuff, and they're like doing all the like workouts with Rachel Robinson and everything. So Sam and Kayla, because Sam has a sports degree, he has a sports like science degree. So they made a smoothie, and it was a peanut butter and jelly smoothie. And then Emily decided to take time out of caravanning or whatever she was doing across the world, living in a van, to comment on the comments saying peeps don't eat peanut butter in their smoothies or something. And then Sam came back and clapped back at
smoothies.
Yeah, Sam came back with a very scientific evidence of like, you can have peanut butter. People eat peanut butter. It's a healthy fat. And so he came back and clapped back at her with some science instead of her just being like, real people don't eat peanut butter. And then a lot of people were talking about Nutella to her. So it wasn't a good look.
I really like peanut butter. Is she saying it because it's like fattening? Like what, or like that people are allergic to it? Like what's her point?
I don't know. I just saw the thing or her post real quick, and all it said was really something to the fact of like she said peeps, like peeps don't eat peanut butter or something, and I just didn't understand that. I was like, why? Out of all the things,
I actually have like it's part of like my shopping list. I always have peanut butter in the house. I put peanut butter on a lot of things. Like if I have cereal, I'll put like a dollop of peanut butter in there. Like I like peanut butter banana, like with chocolate nib smoothies with protein. Like I like peanut butter. It's like kind of one of my favorite flavors. And don't tell that to Nicole. Whew, that'd be problematic.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's so weird. I was like, out of all the things to come back into the challenge fold of, and you comment on this smoothie recipe instead of anything of really substance. Dumb. Yeah.
So this one's pretty easy. I really want to know what Blank's beef is with everyone on the challenge. No one did anything to him. Eye roll.
Who is Fessel?
No, it's Turbo. And this last question. So Connor tweets, he has his favorite female competitors. And so I just want to see if you can guess who his favorite competitors are, females from the last 4 seasons, winners of the challenge, and then who you think is your favorite, like the best pet competitor in his order. So his faves in order for the last 4, and then who's the better competitor in order. So what do you think? Connor's favorite female winners.
So just the winners of the last 4 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Tori, right? And then it's
you have it between Amber, Jenny, Tori, Casey.
Okay, so Casey's at the bottom, I'm sure of. Amber's, I'm gonna say Amber. No, Jenny won, then Amber, then Tori, and then Casey.
So Connor, a person that you have no idea who they are. Lauren, you're very close. It was Amber, Jenny, Casey, then Tori. So that's his favorites. Now, if you're going to put them in order of who are the best competitors, how would you place those same 4 women?
So competitors. That's interesting. As competitors, I guess I would say, man, this is difficult. As competitors, I guess I would have to say Jenny, Amber, Tori, and Casey in that order.
Interesting. That's not his order, but I think I'm closer. So he put Casey as being the best competitor, then Amber, then Jenny, then Tori. I think that Jenny will show up and do better more often than Casey and Amber, I would say. I think Jenny would be in the top there. Then maybe Casey, then Amber. I think Tori does fall at the bottom, though, of both lists, personally.
That's so weird. I don't know. It's difficult, but I don't have Casey high for much because I would really like to see Casey actually fight in a season. True. I don't think she's ever really had to fight or do much of anything in the season. And not have to be tested much at all. Not saying that she's not a good competitor, but she's never had to really face multiple eliminations in a season. She's never really had to show that she's has some strategy with her. She kind of just goes in, she lays low, and then she comes out either in a final or gets handcuffed. So I don't know. I don't know, handcuffed with like a bad partner and a brother. But other than that, she never really had to fight for anything.
That's true. Zuna Man, you're right. She is good at stuff, like, as well, like that the other three aren't good at. So, Amber's not good at math. We know that. Like, Casey's not good at math or puzzles. And Tori seems to be getting better at puzzles, though, but I don't know how she is at math. So, I do think that Jenny might be the most well-rounded strength-wise, personally. But that was just Connor's opinion. So, whatever. Well, Drew, it's been so fun doing these rankings with you every week. I look forward to it. Absolutely. We will be back to do a final season breakdown 2 weeks from now, most likely at a regular time spot, unless something comes up or we get more information about something else. Maybe things will shift, but most likely 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing a recap-ish and talk about the reunion, as well as doing a full season breakdown tier power rankings of season 38. Drew, what do you have going on your channel?
Just working. So next week I'm looking to put out a few videos, one of which being a review, a full season review recap and things that take away from the Challenge Australia that is now on Paramount Plus, is available to watch on Paramount Plus. So I was going to rewatch the season and talk about it and give my overall thoughts. If anybody wants to share what they thought of the season, and I'll read those comments and review and talk about them, as well as talking about some of the global championship competitors that were announced this past week. I'm also wanting to put a video out about them as well. Also going through the first part of the reunion review and recap, and a tiny table talk, which is going to be mostly a comment palooza. And then I'm sure we're going to hear something from that next weekend about the Challenge UK being put on Paramount Plus, as well as probably a cast list, a full cast list, a review, a trailer, everything going to be put out next week, which we're going to be doing a lot. So yeah, it's going to be a busy 2 weeks, while I'm also trying to get Cara Maria Part 3 video out there as well. So it's going to be a lot, but it's going to be exciting.
Yay. Well, Killer Eyes says thank you for all that you do. And I'm saying thank you as well, Drew, for all that you do and being here with me on Fridays. It is always a good time. I am not sure when the Traders reunion comes out. I think it happened. Maybe it came out today. I'm not 100% sure. I will do some sort of coverage or recap of it. Absolutely. But I'm not sure when it's happening. So I'll find that out and then I'll post something. So please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to the Angelcake Entertainment Channel so you can see all of Drew's amazing hard work that has to do with the challenge. Like this video and let us know, where you think that Devin and Tori stack up in the, a season of winners. Like, are they top tier winner, middle tier, bottom tier? Like, what are your thoughts of Devin and Tori representing season 38 and in the grand scheme of all of the challenges so far? So let us know in the comments and we will see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.